The story of devolution as told in 7 minutes. Your Excellency, with your permission, I will now invite the chairperson, Council of Governors, and also the Governor Meru County, Honorable Peter Munya, to make his remarks and take us through the next part of the program. Chairman, Council of Governors, Honorable Peter Munya. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, Your Excellency, the Minister of State for Finance and the Corporate Affairs of the Government of India, Arjun Ram Meghwal, Speaker of the Senate, the Honorable Ekwe Dhuro, Honorable Mwangi Kiunjuri, Cabinet Minister in charge of Devolution and Planning, Deputy Chief Justice, Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, Stefano Dejak, Ambassador to the European Union in Kenya, Principal Secretaries, Heads of Missions, members of the county assemblies, other national government representatives, county government representatives, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'll begin by introducing some of the distinguished guests who have honored us with their presence in this conference so that they can be recognized by the participants. And specifically, I want to recognize international guests from friendly countries who have visited us to participate in this conference. From South Sudan, we have Honorable Richard Kebe Mulas. I think he will stand up for recognition by. Then we have Minister of Federal Affairs. This is the Minister of Federal Affairs, Government of South Sudan. You've not given him applause, proper applause for. From Ethiopia, we have Maeregu Abtamariam, Regional Director for East Africa, Forum of Federations. Is up there. Give him an applause for representing the friendly neighboring country of Ethiopia. We also have many ambassadors who have joined us and who have always joined us for this devolution conference. We have Ambassador Robert Godek of the United States of America. Give him an applause. We also have the British High Commissioner, Nick Alley. We have the European Union Ambassador who has already spoken on behalf of the donor group, Mr. Stefano Dejak. We have the Norwegian Ambassador, Victor Conrad Donnenberg. We have Mr. Francesca Dorosecki, the Ambassador of Slovakia to Kenya. You'll excuse my pronunciations. You have the Indian High Commissioner to Kenya, Mrs. Susitra Durai. We also have the Nigerian High Commission, End of Chancery, Mrs. Asmau Irene Dirisu. Then we have the Rwanda First Secretary to the Rwandan High Commission, Kim Kamasa. And last but not least, we have the South Sudan Ambassador, His Excellency, Sadia Abdallah Elias Diab. Sue? Oh, this is the Sudan ambassador. I'm sorry for that confusion. This is the ambassador to the Republic of Sudan. This conference is unique in the sense that we under a preceding conference before this particular one, that was a conference of the children of Kenya. Because we believe devolution has to be bequeathed to the children for us to continue. Everything has to be bequeathed to the next generation. So a conference of our children was organized where they came and learned about devolution. And they made their own recommendations to this conference, and we thought it's fair because they wanted the president to hear their recommendations, just summarized manner, then they can be able to give them. It was a very intensive conference where I realized we have very, very intelligent children who are aware of everything that is happening to this country and who have great ideas that give us a lot of hope as a country. So I wanted to call, I don't have the list of the children who are coming. When they come, they'll be able to give them applause. This gentleman is called Dennis Mutugi. He is from Tharaka-Nithi County. And he is from class 8. He is in class 8. This lady is from Omambe County, Asumbingaos High School. So those are the ones who present the recommendations of the children conference on behalf of the rest of the children of Kenya.
Representative of the children of Kenya, drawn from the 47 counties of the Republic, congregated at the inaugural Children's Conference, Devolution Conference, held from the 27th to 28th February 2017 at the Nairobi Primary School, Nairobi, under the theme, Devolution Transforming Lives, Tell Your Story. As a synthesis of our ideation workshops, discussions, and plenary interaction, we call for the following: under child protection and participation, establishment of children rescue homes and centers, regular interactions between county officials and the children representatives in the children's government in the counties. Under peace, values, and cohesion, county governments to take action that enhance children dialogue and education on peace, national values, and cohesion during the 2017 election and beyond. Political leaders to create harmony and promote peace without inciting their constituents to violence during political rallies. Education. County government should support education programs that are inclusive, especially for the vulnerable children with disabilities and marginalized children at the grassroots levels. Provide more ECDE and vocational training centers with better facilities and more teachers. Health. County governments to facilitate public education on health, employ more health professionals, provide affordable assistant devices and aids for children living with disabilities, and provide Kenyan Sign Language and other accessibility assistance to improve access to primary health care. Provide and ensure access to emergency services such as ambulances in the rural areas. Energy and infrastructure. Use of solar and wind energy as alternative sources of energy that will assist in improving learning. More roads, especially the roads leading to schools, be constructed. to ensure greater rural accessibility and markets to facilitate better pricing for agricultural goods.
Your Excellency, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, Indian Minister of State Finance, Arjun Ram Meghwal, Deputy Chief Justice, Philomena Mwali, and all protocols observed, good afternoon. I would like to continue from where my colleague Faith has reached in accordance to devolution. County so to add on this, special schools can be established in every county to cater for these children, improve infrastructure for physically challenged. The county governments also may employ the sign languages interpreters, for example, the one who is standing in front of us, so that they may interpret and help the deaf and mute, because they are also our fellow Kenyans. In conclusion, we wish to thank all those who made this children's conference a success. Hope that our views will be considered and implemented. We request that feedback on the issues raised will be provided towards to all participants the end of the first quarter of 2017. And devolution to be continued everywhere, and God bless Kenya. Asante sana.
Give the applause to the children again. More applause to our children for those very good recommendations. Let me begin by requesting that we all stand up and observe a minute of silence in honor of the late Honorable Nderitu Gachagua, the governor of Nyeri, who passed on. We may take our seats. Thank you very much. Take this opportunity to convey a special welcome to you all, and especially to our president for finding time from his very, very, very busy schedule to be with us today to attend the annual Devolution Conference. This is the last conference that we are hosting as the pioneer governors, and as such, it is an opportune forum for all of us to evaluate the achievements of county government since 2013, interrogate the challenges that counties have faced thus far, and document what remains undone to inform the next steps for the incoming county and national regime. Devolution has come of age. County governments have run a full term, and the first Council of Governors is nearly winding up. We have implemented the first phase of the devolved system of governance. The establishment of county governments in 2013 was the ultimate actualization of Article 1(4) of the Constitution, that sovereign power of the people is exercised at the national and county levels. This conference provides us with a platform for us to take stock of what progress we have made in realizing the objectives of devolution as illuminated in Article 174 of the Constitution. For the last 4 years, county governments have played a pivotal role in delivering vital services, developing local economies, and empowering communities through robust public participation. Skeptics may think otherwise, but the successes that have been witnessed in the 47 counties are proof that devolution is the real deal. Real power, real resources, and real engagement of communities has come with devolution. The transition period ended on 4th March 2016, meaning that all functions assigned to county governments under the 4th schedule of the Constitution are now squarely under the purview of the county governments, therefore allowing us to look back and celebrate key milestones in the devolution journey. With the majority of health services now devolved, healthcare forms one of the single most largest components of county budgets, accounting for nearly a quarter of the total. Not only have we prioritized primary health care in community health facilities, we have also focused our efforts on eliminating infant mortality. In 2012, there were 8,466 health centers and dispensaries. We have increased this to 10,032 and invested heavily in equipping delivery wards with incubators. These investments have paid off. We have witnessed a huge drop, up to 39% in infant deaths per 1,000 live births. Let me remind you that it is during the county government's tenure that Mandera County performed for the first time since independence its first cesarean delivery and at Tabaka Sub-County Hospital. The same feat was achieved in Embu County when in Mbere Sub-County Hospital, Chicago Town, Susan Wawera delivered a boy through the first ever cesarean section operation in a theater that was built by the Embu County government in a sub-district hospital. To build on the landmarks in the health sector, it is worth mentioning that there has been an upsurge of nurses from 6,620 in 2012 to 8,900 in 2016. Expenditure for procurement of drugs has increased by more than 40%, and we have seen an increase in accessibility to specialized medical care for diabetes, renal care, and cardiovascular care. The biggest setback to these achievements in the devolution of healthcare journey has been the devastating doctor strike that is almost now reaching 3 months. Hard decisions must be made on this matter so that treatment of our very poor people can resume and we can stop the needless death of the very vulnerable people in our communities. In agriculture, counties have invested in mechanization and made significant leaps in crop and animal production. We have initiated a validation project, installed greenhouses, and established new market linkages for farmers. With climate change interfering with rainfall patterns, counties are taking the climate smart route and have, in this regard, put more than 70,000 hectares under irrigation. This initiative will strengthen food security, reduce vulnerability, and generally raise smallholder income. I also cannot fail to state that over 1,650,000 farmers are covered on extension. Over 900 cattle dips have been constructed and rehabilitated, and more than 200 milk coolers have been purchased and distributed in the dairy areas. In the road sector, and despite county government facing financial and legislative hurdles, we are proud of the following achievements. Between 2013 and 2016, 379 kilometers of tarmac roads, 35,934 kilometers of Maramdi roads, 19,148 kilometers of new roads, and 9,000 572 kilometers of rehabilitated roads. But these successes have been attained amidst vilification and a serious underfunding. As at the end of the transition period, on 4th March 2016, county government received an extra 113 kilometers of roads. Yet in the division of revenue for the financial year 2016-2017 and 2017-2018, no funds have been allocated to the counties to support the additional roads. Unlike the national government, which despite handling only 9,995 kilometers of roads, received an allocation of 79 billion. Moreover, national agencies, notably Kenya Urban Roads Authority, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and the National Highways Authority, have continued to be in charge of county roads, in spite of the High Court having actually pronounced itself on this issue and ordered the immediate transfer of the roads by recognizing that the construction and or maintenance of all county roads, Class D, E, and unclassified, is the responsibility of county governments, and all Class A, B, and C constitute national trunk roads, and they are therefore responsibility of the national government. Evidence of our success in the water sector can be seen in the growth of water coverage across the country. Many counties have managed to connect over 70% of resident households to piped water. We are rehabilitating and constructing dams, water pans, and bores, and collaborating with the private sector and non-state actors to support and sustain various community water projects across the country. These efforts have markedly contributed to the improvement of primary health care in the country. In education, counties have experienced exponential growth in early childhood education, with counties investing in recruitment of teachers and expansion of infrastructure. Increment in ECD enrollment was inevitable. Additionally, counties are constructing more youth polytechnics and empowerment centers to nurture the skills of young people and prepare them for the job market. Let me mention that these milestones have not been constrained to just the development space. We have recorded major wins in the legal arena through judicial intervention. We have secured functional integrity and independence of county government as anticipated in the Constitution. This has been achieved through historic declarations, among others, that the Constituency Development Fund has certain and constitutional aspects that, as mentioned previously, county roads should be transferred to the county governments, that county outdoor advertising is deemed a county function, and recently that the Senate cannot question the legality of county laws. To ensure that oversight powers are not abused for political and personal interests, the courts have also set high thresholds for the removal from office of governors and the county executive committee members. We also acknowledge that county governments have been able to coherently tell the devolution story despite the constant misinformation and the prejudice peddled in public. As a system of governance has sought to move power, responsibilities, and resources from the central government to counties, it was expected that devolution would face resistance. Yet, in spite of the negative rhetoric that devolution is expensive and untenable, counties have continued to implement their functions. In fact, the appreciation for devolution in the country is rated at 60% among citizens. But even as we appreciate the successes of devolution, we cannot fail to take cognizance of the challenges that we have surmounted and those that still persist. I must admit that the environment for the implementation of devolution has not been very amiable, expectantly. In the 4 years, we have had disagreements between national and county, between counties and national institutions and various agencies, especially over funding. Sometimes lack of consultation on matters that affect county governments, and also sometimes lack of technical support for the implementation of these functions. Insufficient allocations and delayed disbursement to counties by the National Treasury has also sometimes nearly paralyzed finalization of development projects. Moreover, there are functions that remain unfunded, yet they have already been transferred to the counties, for instance, libraries and the museums. So the question we now must ask ourselves is this: what has failed to be done in the last 4 years, and what can we do moving forward to make devolution better? We are not here to apportion blame, because we all bear responsibility for making devolution work. What we are here to do is take stock of what we have been able to do and see how we can work collectively to move this agenda further. What steps then must be taken to make devolution fully function? For a start, county functions be well funded. We are saying for devolution to work completely, we must continue increasing funding to the counties until we reach what we consider the optimum level of funding, that is 45%. And hopefully in future amendments to the Constitution, we may also fix that particular figure in the Constitution to make funding to counties predictable and determinable, for counties to plan without fearing that resources may not be there or may be reduced. Second, state agencies and corporations and regional development authorities must be restructured to align to the devolved system of government to avoid overlapping and duplication of functions. In every financial year, these state bodies continue to benefit from colossal budgetary allocations, which ideally should form part of the county share of revenue. To illustrate this, in the 2015-2016 budget, ongoing road construction and maintenance has been allocated 85.2 billion. These monies went on to fund state actors like Kura and Kera, who continue to award contracts for county roads. The same budget allocated a sum of Kenya shillings 79.7 billion for agriculture, specifically irrigation projects, fisheries, and livestock. Yet, under the fourth schedule of the Constitution, agriculture is a fully devolved function, and the national government mandate extends only to agricultural policy and research. Regional development authorities like the Tana and Athi River Development Authority, Kerio Valley Development Authority, Lake Basin Development Authority, and others also continue to receive a share of the national budget only for these monies to be utilized for projects related to devolved functions. Third, intergovernmental institutions must be strengthened and properly institutionalized to improve their effectiveness. The Council of Governors, Intergovernmental Technical Relations Committee, the National and County Government Coordinating Summit, and the Intergovernmental Budget and the Economic Council should be independent and not housed under a specific ministry. In fact, the constitutional structure is that they should be, other than the Council of Governors, the others should be housed under the presidency. These intergovernmental bodies are capable of being clearing houses for most sector and policy issues that sometimes end up in the courts or remain unresolved. Fourth, the framework for funds flow system for conditional grants and donor funds must be finalized. A draft document on the administration and reporting of conditional grants was jointly developed by the National Treasury and the Council of Governors, but is yet to be adopted. Where donor funds are related to county functions, they should be dispersed to the counties, not held at national ministries. The use of national government agencies to hold funds for county functions also undermine devolution. Fifth, national ministries, departments, and agencies must support devolution. For instance, the National Treasury should offer adequate capacity to the counties to be able to completely utilize the problematic IFMIs. Proper capacity building needs to be done by the National Treasury. With respect to borrowing, national government must also implement the window that allows counties to also borrow, and we'll be able to develop a framework that is quite watertight, that will not be abused, and therefore we would require that that framework also be implemented as soon as possible. Lastly, we must work together to build better relationships between the national government, national parliament, constitutional commissions, and the county governments. If the first years have taught us any lessons, it is that tensions, mistrust, and discord can only derail the implementation of devolution. Consultations and dialogue must be our mantra on matters policy and legislation. As the next county regimes, national and county regimes come into place after the August elections, they must without fail prioritize resolving these pending issues if devolution is to flourish and realize its full potential and contribute to the long-term development and the stability and well-being of our country. As I conclude, I must remember our partners who are supporting us in the devolution journey. The judiciary has continually made pronouncements, as mentioned previously, to protect the devolved system of government. Also, the collaboration between the council and the judiciary has been evident. Through dialogue between the two institutions, the judiciary has waived the court fees for county governments, designated separate registries to handle county legislation, and increased mobile court from 19 to 52. We have also deliberated on how to share revenue emanating from county legislation fines, even though there is a constitutional handle to the implementation of the same. Indeed, the judiciary has contributed to the development of jurisprudence, which is by and large pro-devolution. To our development partners, a special thank you. Whether it is through development projects, technical support, or capacity building, your presence has been felt. However, I call upon you to align your priorities with those of counties so that your support can be more impactful and significantly contribute to the achievement of county development goals. As we move towards the general election, the call by the Council of Governors to the whole nation is this: that we remain peaceful. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission must work tirelessly to secure free and fair elections. Politicians must also play their part, as they bear the largest responsibility in ensuring that the electioneering period is free of violence, conflict, and ethnic divisions. We cannot afford to plunge our motherland into sectarian violence once again. As our core as leaders is to serve, as we dispense public or private duty, we are in service to the people of Kenya. We must therefore fulfill this duty diligently and faithfully. We should all work together towards the success of devolution. I wish you all successful deliberations in this conference.